Hi, I'm Pete May, president of GreenBiz Group, and I'm here with Mike Ford, the designer at Brandnu Design. Mike did a fabulous VERGE talk yesterday here at VERGE 17 on hip-hop architecture, and went through just an amazing kind of historical look up till now, and referencing Josephine Baker and Robert Moses and Le Corbusier. So I wanted to start with that, Mike. Le Corbusier, c'est un aspect fondamental de l'architecture et comment faire la liaison de Le Corbusier jusqu'au hip-hop. So,
from Detroit, but I don't speak French.
Yeah, so I'm just playing with you. So, but it was, seriously, it was a great presentation. I'd encourage everybody to check it out. But for those of you that missed it, or encourage them to look at it, maybe start with just a definition. What is hip-hop architecture?
Yeah, so it's something that is confusing to a lot of people. Two things that seemingly don't go together. But what hip-hop architecture is an evaluation of the strategies implemented by architects, urban planners, or designers in communities of color.
Yeah.
And I use hip-hop as a way to describe the successes and failures of some of those strategies,
yeah,
but also as a way to generate solutions to the failed planning of modernism.
Yeah, so pick up Le Corbusier for those of you, draw the link from him, what he was all about, back to hip-hop.
Yeah, so when I talk about hip-hop architecture, people think it's a new topic of mixing black music and architecture together. But Corbusier fantasized about this, almost 100 years ago, where he wanted to mix jazz music in architecture.
Huh.
And I talked about it a little bit yesterday, where he had this interesting relationship or stalking of Josephine Baker, where he was trying to figure out how black artists created jazz music. If architects could master the tools of architecture like jazz musicians have mastered the tools of music, architecture would be something unseen.
Yeah, and and yesterday again we're working with that, but you had some amazing talk about visually. You had some great images up there of how hip hop inspired architecture, and again visualize for these folks here about what that looks like, that inspiration.
Yeah, I think it's an open discussion right now of how it's interpreted. But for me, what I look at are the elements of hip hop and how we can study those, such as breakdancing. So, interesting conversation.
The chair that was in the form of a breakdancer.
Right.
That was
so,
really cool.
Looking at the structural stability of breakdancing.
Yeah.
Can we introduce youth to topics of structures, math, physics, through a vernacular that they are champions of? They're the creators of this vernacular. So can we use it to freeze a breakdancer and understand forces exerted on hands or torsion in the body, and be able to convert those to physical forms of architecture or products?
Yeah, that's cool stuff. Can you talk about maybe some projects you're working on now that are most interesting for you?
Yeah, two projects. I'll mention the most interesting project is probably the Universal Hip Hop Museum. So this is a museum that's similar to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. But this is...
Where's it located?
This is in the Bronx.
Okay.
The Universal Hip Hop Museum is in the Bronx, and it's started by hip hop artists.
Yeah.
And not just any hip hop artists, but the hip hop artists who created hip hop. So people like Curtis Blow, one of the leaders of the project. And so that project is in the Bronx. And then there's another project, which I call the Hip Hop Architecture Camp.
Yeah.
Which takes all of the information you've seen in the lecture or the VERGE talk yesterday, and distills it down into a format that kids can use to learn about architecture, design, urban planning, and environmental justice.
That's great, and I have to interject here that the two founders of GreenBiz, Joel McCower and myself, are both born and raised in Oakland, and we're bringing VERGE to Oakland for the first time next year. And you were telling me you actually have a camp for kids in Oakland, is that right?
Yes, so the camp started off as a 1-week camp across the nation, different cities, 10 different cities, but now we have a pilot running in Oakland, and it's a 13-week program, and we partnered with After School All-Stars in the Bay.
Yeah.
to produce a 13-week-long program.
Yeah.
So we definitely need to partner
Oh, that's
up
great.
there.
Yeah. And we want to, that's for us, Verge is a lot about widening the tent, and I think that's so vital to bring those kids into that discussion. So we'll have to, I mean, I don't know if it's weird for a Detroit guy coming to, Oakland. As an Oakland guy, I give it visceral about Detroit Pistons, like Rodman, Lambeer, but we still are going to welcome you to Oakland next year, and we love to see some of those kids join us at Verge as well. So
Cool.
yeah.
I'll be excited to join you.
Thanks for joining us, Mike.
Thank you.
All right.